The blue blur! That probably goes well with several of the Sonic things we did today. SA1, you know. Sonic the Hedgehog's Bizarre Adventure. SA1, man. SA1. You never know, never expect it. Ice Cap Zone. Well, I feel we have to do this. Please work. It worked? I just feel it's important to do it. So it actually is a stand now? Like it is actually in the JoJo series, or just like that's another meme? It wouldn't surprise me, ultimately. See that orb right there? It kills any sprites it touches. Be careful, you can only kill 3 sprites with this thing. Oh boy. Oh, okay. This is not the kind of level I was expecting, actually. So that's a retry pipe. Yep, that's 3 sprites. You name your level like the blue blur or something. Oh, Ice Cap Zone. I guess that was like the name of the level. Hold up. I'm not stupid. There we go. All sprites destroyed. That was solid. I wasn't ready for it. It is weird that I've heard 3 different renditions of this today. This one track. 2 in levels, 1 in a hack. Now, I like this level a lot so far, actually. It teaches you exactly what... Like, even if you didn't read the box, you could say, oh, it destroyed 3 sprites. That's what it does. It destroys 3 sprites. Like, you could figure this out. Now, to also be fair, this is a bit cheesy, but we'll go with it. Isn't this thing a sprite? It is a sprite! Funny how he turns into Knuckles. I mean, yeah. There's not that many good options for Red Sonic. Ow. Not that many good options for Red Sonic when you get down to it. Can I hold this one through there? Well... yes and no. Will a sprite killer kill a sprite? We learned about this last time. When you hold a sprite and go through a pipe, sometimes it just does that. Alright, let's see if 1 is enough. Oh no, because of... yeah, I really should be more careful. Dying here sucks. It's kind of strange it's got a retry patch, but not like multiple midways. I guess it assumes you'll mostly die from stupidity, rather than actual failing. Okay. I suppose even more surprising, it's not a Knuckles patch on, or not a Knuckles sprite on SMW Central. Got Sonic, you got Tails, no Knuckles. There we go. You stay there. Beautiful. Coin block? Huh. Not what I was expecting, but okay. There we go. Really wish I was big. Nuts. Problem solved. I get the feeling that we'll see this particular thing a lot. think the problem with this level is there's just not that many unique setups. And a lot of them can be circumvented just by putting down the sprite killer object for a second. Like, I know what I'm supposed to do here, but why would I? I can just do that. Okay. Yeah, I guess I need to destroy those. And getting the Dragon Core, though. Whenever something is this kind, you need to start being worried. This mountain... As Sonic starts climbing a mountain. Why is he climbing a mountain? To envelop the mountain. Alright, well here's that port I was thinking of. This is clearly good time, or Bad Times by the Jetsons. Oh god, I hate these so much. To make love to the mountain. Like I say, Captain Kirk's. William Shatner's spoken word stuff. Low-key actually awesome. At least low-key actually hilarious. Oh, it is a banger. Absolute banger. That's what makes the fact they got rid of it for certain versions of Sonic 3 all the more disheartening. Okay. Don't let it touch it. Okay. Those aren't sprites. I get the feeling something was supposed to spawn here. Or, this is why, Pat, your gimmicky way of dropping the orb won't work this time. Okay, credit where credit's due. There have been more of these things that make sense as gates now. Oh. See, I'm less keen on this. Like, I generally feel if you're gonna have a level be a puzzle level, just keep it a puzzle level. If you're gonna have a level be a platform level, keep it a platform level. But mixing the two is often just kind of not great. Like, I get why, but still. You need to prepare a sci-fi pen and paper adventure with your friends for like months. How do you make good sci-fi characters? What is plot? Those are all good questions I'm not remotely qualified to answer. Like, sci-fi pen and paper seems a lot harder to me just because I think I poofed him. Yeah, I poofed him. Unlike D&D, you can't really fall back on the good old cliches quite as much. Sci-fi requires a lot higher competence than fantasy does, bizarrely enough. Basically, they don't send morons to space. You could be as dumb as hell as Zerker if you want, but you can't really do the same thing as much as you can maybe say Worf did. I mean, Worf at least had his moments, but he usually spent most of his time getting his ass kicked. Worf is a terrible example. What am I supposed to do here? Mostly less familiar with sci-fi. That's fair. Space Martha Stewart seeks her companion, Robot Snoop Dogg. You know, you could do a lot worse than that, Havaluta. You could do a lot worse. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what would be... It really depends on what kind of sci-fi you want to run, too. I mean, it runs the gamut all the way from, you know, things... If we're just saying the BBC gamut, it would be things from, like, Doctor Who to Red Dwarf. And, of course, Star Trek and whatnot. So, like, knowing what kind of sci-fi you want to do also matters. The hardness thereof and other such features. Okay. Oh, I hate this gimmick. Has to dodge space taxes. Prefer harder sci-fi and more conceptual stuff in the game will have to be a little gonzo to necessity. Yeah. I mean, I don't think most people really want to spend time for their sci-fi game necessarily working on hard sci-fi. And of course it has the problem of, like, again, you need to be familiar enough with sci-fi for it to work, right? Red Dwarf does counter the morons in space things. Yeah, but the whole point of sending the morons in space, they were supposed to be minors. Like, that was kind of a takeoff of other political issues that the UK was seeing, to some extent. But yeah, fair point. Fair point. At least half the cast wasn't actually supposed to be there anyway. Cat and Crichton weren't part of the original crew. Cat being a cat and Crichton being a robot they found elsewhere. As far as like gonzo sci-fi goes, I think Red Dwarf is probably one of my favorites. Just because it's very silly. Except for the episode where they eat JFK. That episode is not nearly as silly, I suppose. But, you know. The only thing I kind of hold against it is the laugh track. I don't care for laugh tracks. Ah, dang it. Great fun with the show? Yeah, it's really good. I remember watching a lot of it, you know, late at night, because it was on PBS late at night. You've seen an episode of Red Dwarf you don't remember? It's very possible. Like, PBS used to have it on during Nagathons and the like. They figured the best way to get people to give them money was to actually show them programming that they were interested in. And that's where I watched most of it, and taped some back in the day. But we used to watch it just late at night, like Friday nights, Saturday nights, I forget when. And then immediately thereafter, Stargazer would come on, and this old guy would explain exactly that it was like the best week to see Venus if you just got up at like 6 a.m. to look at it, and whatnot. Which was interesting, you know, nice little short public access type of TV show. Oh no. But yeah, Red Dwarf, good fun. Mostly the first seasons. I didn't care as much once they finally got like off of Red Dwarf and were doing other weird things. Vaguely remember liking the Space Bug era, but it's been at least like 6 years since I did watch that. Bit of Hyperdrive? I don't think I've seen that one. The new season suffered a lot for lack of a laugh track. I mean, the thing about laugh tracks is just like, if it's funny, I'll laugh. I don't need to be told when to laugh. Oh, what's up, Weregoose? How you doing? Name one of your chickens Venus, then. Oh, I didn't even notice. Your name was nice to Habaluchas. Too many green names. And yes, I know your name's not green on Twitch. It's just, that's the way the hash is rolled. Maybe one day I'll figure out a better solution to this. Or switch hashes. One or the other. It's a joke. Please laugh. Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. I can see that being good. I do like Simon Pegg. I did this like 50 times a minute ago. Just always gonna remember, what was it, Jeb Bush saying, doing that is like, please clap. Literally see the man's soul leaving his body. What was that Ted Cruz? I forget. It's been too long. Maybe it's for the best. It doesn't have Simon Pegg? Oh. I mean, to be fair, Simon Pegg has been busy doing, like, serious stuff. Well, not serious stuff. If it's the guy I think I'm thinking of, right? Simon Pegg is the Shaun of the Dead fellow. The skinnier of the two. Who's now doing, like, Mission Impossible for some reason. Bad keeping track of actors. Yep. So I don't think it might be an association thing. We feel like laugh track adds an atmosphere, like how you enjoy a dad joke. Yeah, I can see that. Shaun of the Dead die. Okay. Hot Fuzz, yeah. Right, we're definitely on the same page now. I understand who this person is. Like, aside from a few, like, 80s action-y dudes, my memory for actor names is deep. Especially ones who are, like, modern now. I don't remember any of them. I just realized that that was part of the song. Which means very high chance that Hooded Edge did this. Oh god. What are you eating one? Don't have to be perfect here, right? I gotta be perfect there. No! I hate the generator. Well, if I was gonna eat any sprite, eating the generator is probably the right way to go, let's be honest. Can I go under him? Ah! I bowl true. Don't bowl true. Careful. Careful. Alright. And then this obstacle again. But harder. I don't know what I expected. Wonder how many people played the Metroidvania hack from a few months ago? I don't know. I mean, at least 2 people did. Because I played it for moderation purposes and had to reject it due to like some stuff. And then when you or did I approve it? I think I did approve it actually. Yeah, I think I approved it. I don't think there was anything. I don't think it was a rejectable thing. And then there was an update that another moderator played, so at least 2. That was a good hack. I really hope that guy creates a few more. One of those, like, I would consider, like, at least going back and looking at the ending part, because apparently he changed it so that the ending has a little more gravitas. Some actual, like, explanation and epilogue where it sort of just ended abruptly. So, like, a big area where you can talk to NPCs or something. Which is something I always appreciate at the end of a game. The, like, Chrono Trigger dev ending and whatnot. Actually, just Chrono Trigger endings in general. Like, you got to walk around in a lot of them. At least the easy-to-get ones. There we go. No. Kind of trying to despawn them, and it didn't quite work in my favor, but I think I'm okay with it. There we go. Just hire Daiso to give the hack gravitas. It'd give the hack plot. I'm not sure about gravitas necessarily, but certainly plot. I don't like this obstacle. Like, yeah, this has a bunch of good ideas, but the mole generators are not in the middle of that. Well, that is not one of them. Like, I really didn't even care for that when I saw it in, was it Sickos? I think it was Sickos. I think like the second level of Sickos was mole generator jumps over and over, and then it was exploding mole generator jumps. That actually might have been my least favorite level of that hack. And actually, probably the jump switching one was probably my least favorite, just because the severe jump, no pun intended, in difficulty. Nope. Hence why it was Sickos, yeah. That hack was good. That hack was good. The ending was awesome. Fun final boss. Like, Hack Jam produced so many good entries. I really want them to do it again just because it produced a lot of good hacks. Like, I know some people, like, found it a bit traumatic, but honestly, like, a bunch of really cool shit came out of it. And not just from the team that, you know, made the Super Mario 1 hack that was insanely long compared to all of the other entries. Mole in Space was good. Oh. It's a good time to rest my hands for a sec. Enjoy the message box. What's up, D the Fourth? What's up, Lepidus? How you doing? How you both doing? Hello, Alice in Wonderland. How you doing? Thank you for the raid. How was your stream? What were you up to? We're just playing some random WLDC levels. How you doing, Annie Mako? Using a little bit of USB magic to cause some interesting things to happen, which is how we got the message box in the game. Currently we're in a level with these orbs that eat 3 sprites and then disappear. And also, this level didn't originally have Sonic. But Did some Sly runs, no PBs, but good runs. And then Valorant, and then some of a mobile game. Alright. I've heard good things about Sly Cooper. I literally know nothing about Valorant. It's one of those arena shooters, right? Or, I don't like Destiny or something. Mobile games. I never know about mobile games. I'm trying to think, have I actually bought or played a mobile game ever? More than like 5 minutes. I think the answer might be no. I briefly considered getting Final Fantasy Tactics for iPhone, but then realized it was a new translation and didn't want it. But I don't think I've ever played a mobile game for more than like a minute. Nope. Respect your choices. Competitive 5v5 like CSGO. Okay. That sounds fun. Doing for sponsorship. Okay. So how does that work, actually? Did you, like, film yourself playing it on a phone, or did you bust out, like, an emulator or something for it? It's like, playing mobile games on a capturable surface seems difficult to me. I guess there are probably ways to get, like, iPhones and Androids to, put video out, but that seems like a pain if it's gonna be, like, touch and stuff. Emulator was okay by sponsor. That makes sense. What's up, Matt? How you doing? Tactics is amazing, but I just love the not great translation. Like, Square had its moments in the 90s, and Tactics was one of them. I am so bad at this obstacle. What's up, Abe Lincoln? Puzzles and survival. Interesting. Yeah, this is a Jetsons port. I want to say it's Hooded Edge, but I can't prove it. Mostly because at a certain point it turns into a Toho song. And that's a common thing for at least 2 different porters to do. I know Hooded Edge likes doing it. I want to say there's a second person who does it too, but I cannot for the life of me recall his name. I'll have to play better in order to get to the Toho part. Because it reloads a song every time I die. Or play worse at the puzzly parts. So it's like terrible and not great. Well, the thing is, it's understandable, and aside from the tutorial, which is legitimately terrible, you know, that wasn't the darkened items won't appear. Oh. Dang it. Professor Darwinian was, like, completely unintelligible, and he was supposed to tell you how to play the damn game. Like, it was kind of amazing. They, like, farmed that part out to the translation intern. I'd love to know how that happened. But then there's absolute moments of brilliance, like, surrender or die in obscurity. And a few other, like, really great lines. But Tactics is a product of its time. Ah. You captured getting over on a how would you play getting over it on a tablet? Hooded Edge is the porter? Huh. An understandably bad thing is still bad. I'm just saying that the tutorial isn't very understandable. The rest of it's actually pretty understandable. The plot is reasonable. There's a couple parts that are cheesy, but the tutorial is terrible. That was pretty standard for Square in the 90s since they got after they stopped having Ted Woosley do their translations. Ted Woosley, whatever. He was good at producing things that were coherent. And it took them a few years to get back up to that level of quality. Final Fantasy VII had some great lines in it, too. It was actually kind of sad when I played it on PC that the, this guy are sick wasn't still in. They actually fixed the grammar on that one. Aw, 1 bounce shy. Controls getting over it still work. No need to fling the mouse all over the desk. Very subtle finger movements. Okay. Shout out to the skill named Mimic Darvin that puts to sleep. Yeah. The Mediator? Yeah, I think it's Mediator. Comes so late in the game. And I never found it all that useful, honestly. Aside from, like, there was, like, one skill that would make people slightly faster or something. It wasn't one of the... No, that's the one Razma had, wasn't it? Anyway, that game was horrifically broken anyway, because you could do all sorts of fun things, like sell items you didn't have. Even before getting into the fact that dancers and calculators exist. But it's been many years since I've played it. I don't know if it would hold up. I think I might still have the memory card with my saves though. Oh, come on! I just need one more bounce. Sometimes games get ported to mobile in like 1/4 of their normal cost. I mean, for Final Fantasy Tactics, yeah, that actually might have been the case. Because yeah, most people, the price point for games on mobile is so much lower. Like paying 20 bucks for a mobile game sounds really steep, whereas 60 bucks for a PC game or a console game doesn't seem so bad. Doesn't sound right because you do mainly know the updated translation where it's called Orator. Okay. Yeah, I had to stop and think because I want to say that the people who did Final Fantasy V, I can't be right. I might be thinking of the Final Fantasy V job when it comes to that, but no, it's Beastmaster in the translation I use, but sometimes it's translated as Mediator. It's Mediator in the Game Boy Advance. I had to think about that. But I hate playing the Game Boy Advance version, so I don't try to think about it too often. PSP version. Arithmeticians? Ugh. That just sounds terrible. Oh, come on. It just sounds wrong. Yeah. I remember the last time I actually busted out the PlayStation 1. I think I might have briefly like put Chrono Cross in there to test out something, but haven't really done anything with it since. Bizarrely enough, I have what is technically what people would probably call a flash card for that, though the company who made it's pretty dang cagey. Alright, well that's not helpful. May as well eat the sprites on the way to the reset pipe. Worse than calling a whole-ass human being a calculator? I mean, we used to call people who did calculations computers sometimes. There are people doing computations. These are people doing calculations. Calculators. Computers. It's an older use than, you know, before Casio was around, but it still checks out. It's how we got an awful lot of sine tables made back in the day, which is people with the mechanical adding machines doing repeated sums to approximate integrals. The more you know. I'm already dead. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with this part. And the worst part is it resets the music every time. Older adult. Yes, Sonny, back in the day, I knew calculators who personally worked on cracking Enigma. Not quite that old yet. And in fact, with that specific statement, probably never will be. Ow. How much you know about the PSP changes to Final Fantasy Tactics? Zero. That's a version I know nothing about. Aside from the fact that it exists. And like, PSP ports were easy because of something. Like, I want to say that there was enough similarity between the PlayStation and PSP that it made... Like, maybe it had a MIPS chip in it? I really don't know. Something I find imminently hilarious. Well, at least mildly amusing. Maybe? Nope. Mobile versions supported the PS1. Cell shading, that was really nice. I don't think the PS1 could really do cell shading very well. In fact, it didn't really have any support for shading as far as I know. It had a very simple triangle rasterizer. It could do textures, but couldn't do the transformations correctly. And no Z buffer, which meant you had to sort your triangles every single dang render. And then there comes in the question of how do you sort three-dimensional objects? Which is not a trivial one. One fault of the PSP is there was some weird lag during spells, but mobile fixed that. Changed a lot. The generics that join you in Chapter 2 with Gafurun are worth keeping to Chapter 4 because they have a lot more content. Oh, interesting. Add 2 new classes, more perfumes, even more powerful, ton of bonus characters. Alright, well that's kind of nifty then. I kind of assumed it was a very straight, forward port. But it's good to hear that it's a little bit more than that. Finally! Alright, it's this part. You know, I'm just gonna go and get the reset, because I'm pretty sure there's at least a mushroom. No, there's no mushroom. I'll reset anyway. Poofed it. Here we go. Toho music. Oh god. Do enough if you were interested in trying it out. Don't like the new translation though. It makes stuff like they use the and thou, yeah. Characters use these and thous. Yeah, I want to say that the... Oh god, like I said, it's been a long time. I don't remember if the PlayStation one did that. Oh yeah, finishing that thought. I do find it amusing that both of the major consoles of that era, the PS1 and N64, both use MIPS architecture chips. But the one in the N64 is legitimately a lot better because it doesn't have load delay slots. Both of them have branch delay slots because MIPS is a silly architecture. Okay. That worked in my favor. That did not. Things that are ancient, chocolate like. Yeah, I can see that. Script has an archaic flavor. Monkey's got retconned. The way the new FF1's in the universe. Oh, interesting. Yeah, there have been some sequels in Final Fantasy Tactics universe, like Final Fantasy 12. Should have used ARM. I don't think ARM... Was ARM around in, like, 1994 when the PlayStation 1 was being designed? I really don't know. I mean, the answer is probably yes, but it was probably just being used for, like, toasters or something. Oh, stylistic choice for have old-timey things talk. Old things talk old-timey, yeah, I can see that. Instead of, like, having Rasma do it. It makes sense. I like thou. I think that's something Gao says in Final Fantasy VII. Or 6. Mostly because one of the characters does speak old-timey. At least samurai talk in old-timey English because I guess in 1994 or whatever they wouldn't expect people to know what a samurai was. There we go. Okay, just gotta get on the moles and stay on the moles. So awful. Okay, so here's a question. Can I kill these? I cannot kill these. At least I should go practice the next bit. Yep, that's how you do it. Well, that's unfortunate. Frog and Chrono Trigger? Yeah. Delete in the prologue. Tough, don't blame us, blame yourself or God. Change to forgive me, 'tis your birth and faith that do wrong you, not I. Like in Final Fantasy 14, everyone talks in a antiquated manner, but there's one character with these and thous who isn't an ancient god? Huh. Literally canonically does it because he's a fucking nerd read a shit ton of old books. Because they're thee and thou speech. What's up, Pale Bunny? How you doing? Yeah. I mean, it's a choice. There's enough, like, English as it's written there you could actually read. It has those sorts of features and Shakespearean plays and the like that you could make an argument for it. But yeah, it's definitely a nerd thing. Or a very religious thing, like an Amish thing in the United States. Gotta get my orb of sprite death to eat those and not me. That's the word Shakespearean, yeah. It's different because he was a literal peasant and wasn't a high-class person. Him talking to the princess, that felt like it had more impact. Could put your finger out for life. Yeah, no problem. Starting to get a little sleepy, but doing alright. It's understandable. It's late in some percentage of the world. At least here it is. It's already almost 2:30. There we go. I guess I never actually mentioned what I'm doing. I'm just playing like levels from the Winter Level Design Contest on SMW Central that they had earlier this year. It's one of the few contests they've done that has a physical prize. Despite the fact that there was a physical prize, almost nobody wanted it. I do not believe they'll be doing physical prizes much longer, or at all after this. There we go. Finally learning to mole. Okay, that worked for me. Nope. Gonna wait a cycle. I poofed it. What's up, Feline Frequencies? How you doing? This has not gone the way I wanted it to, orb-wise. Failed to contemplate the orb well enough. Okay. Nitpicking. Wodal is still good and would recommend it. Wrath of the Lich King, right? Just prefer the original translation. Gotcha. Oh, okay. See me moling. Doing good. I'm doing fine. I finished up. Pretty sure I'm finished up moderating a hack from earlier. Hummer Mario Bros. Which is a port of Chinese Super Mario World. Or Hummer Mario World. Which is a port of Chinese Super Mario World from the NES. And Chinese Super Mario World is a port of Super Mario World to the NES, which is a fascinating feat. But he added some stuff after I asked. We got some changes done to fix things, and then yeah, interesting stuff. Coming from, but everyone talks about that it's not fancy English for people high birth. It's old English because medieval. Yeah, it's just a product of its time. My understanding, as bizarre as it sounds, is that if you wanted to find a group of people who sounded similar to, oh god, I actually got it, to how Shakespeare was written back in the day, or read back in the day, that American Southerners are as close as you're going to get, which sounds very strange, but it's apparently the truth. Everyone talked like that when the PSP came out. It's true, all those years ago. Point of advice. You can't not have a JoJo reference. It's just impossible. At least there's no Among Us. Amusingly enough, I also moderated a hack that was... Oh, I should probably claim that before I forget. That was a interesting take on Sonic CD for the Super Nintendo, i.e. very broken. But anyway, thank you for the GGs. Let's roll another one. Never quite know what you're going to get with these. 24. I actually upgraded my random number tech from what I used to have. And now looks on the database that captures all of the message buses. If there was an Among Us that just showed up right after that, well, that would have been amazing, I'll be honest. I think that was the thing. Was that even that big of a thing when WLDC rolled around? I know there were a ton of them in QLDC too. I guess there was Among Us level in QLDC 1, wasn't there? Anyway, 24.